Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Anthony Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn has revealed that Joshua will not be in the ring for some considerable time due to a current injury, so he won't even be in the ring for several weeks. So Eddie Hearn, who's in the United States at the time of recording this, told Boxing Scene he won't be able to punch again or train properly for 8 to 10 weeks, and he suffered some form of injury but not disclosed. And of the potential next opponent, Hearn also adds he's pretty relaxed. I think the only fights that really gets his juices flowing are Dubois and Tyson Fury. Doesn't mean he won't fight somebody else, but he's beaten Joseph Parker already, although Parker's on a great run. Agit Kabayel's on a great run, but if you're AJ, can you get yourself up for that? I don't know. In my deluded head, Fury comes out of retirement at some point in the next few months, and they end up fighting this year. But again, no guarantee. Nothing led me to think that. I just think at some point Tyson Fury is going to sit up and go, it's the biggest fight to make, and it's not like he's deteriorating. It's not like he looked shot against Usyk. He just got beat up by the better man. So yeah, I think Dubois and Fury are the two that light the fire, but we'll see what happens. Fabio Wardley has relinquished his British title. So we'll go to his quotes here as reported by the Ring magazine. I just feel like at this point in my career, it's time for me to let it go because I have other opportunities awaiting me. Bigger opportunities on the world stage. And also it's time for me to move on because it's time for the next crop of heavyweights to get their chance and have their go and create their own legacy. Also, I feel like I've done what I needed to do at British level, so why hang around? I'm ready for the world scene now. And Wardley has been part of that order by the WBA, where Kubrat Pulev will face Fabio Wardley, and then the winner will face Michael Hunter. So he is on to bigger and better things. Where that fight is held, who's going to promote it, well, we'll have to see. But in terms of the British title, as this page somehow loads again, there is a notice from the British Boxing Board of Control on it saying Fabio Wardley relinquishing the British Heavyweight Championship. The stewards of the board have approved a request from Frank Warren for the following contest. Heavyweight vacant David Adeleye versus Jeamie Tshikeva. The above contest, to be promoted by Frank Warren, will take place Saturday, 5th April 2025 in Manchester. And that is a part of that card that is going to be Queensberry's first card. I don't know why this keeps reloading. I didn't shut the computer down. Absolute madness. Anyway, so Adeleye versus TKV. It's on that card that is headlined by Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgovic, with that fight now confirmed. Have done a video on that if you want to check it out. Someone actually asked me the other day, did I think that Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher, and I've still got to do a video on that one, did I think that would have the British title if Wardley vacated? And I actually said in a comment, I thought Frank Warren would probably want David Adeleye to get a crack, and so it has transpired. So I would note, even though the promoters are working with each other on Riyadh season for domestic shows, don't expect any favours. They will still promote and protect their own ahead of anything else. No favours for anyone else. Bakhodir Jalolov, the Olympic champion, double Olympic champion, he is going to be back in April in Kazakhstan. So you have a statement here that he's made. So he's on this undercard that it's going to be headlined by the middleweight champion Janibek Alimhanila. So that will be the main event. Jalolov has been added there, currently 14-0. It has been a long wait, and I will look forward to my professional return in Astana. The goal remains the same. I want to make a statement and continue climbing the rankings. This is an important step in my career, and I'm training hard to give the fans a knockout. And his co-promoter Bob Arum says, the addition of Jalolov to this makes this an incredible event. And remember, Alimhanila is promoted by Top Rank as well as Jalolov on a co-promotional basis. Jalolov is a future heavyweight champion. I expect him to give the fans a spectacular show. And the promoter, the founder of Nomad Promotions, not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, we have a stellar card, and Jalolov is one of its undoubted stars. I can't wait to see him fight. nor can his fans. Jalolov is hugely popular in Uzbekistan and around the region, and we look forward to welcoming him and his supporters. Remembering, a lot of heavyweight boxers have between, say, 50,000 and maybe 400,000 followers, say, on a platform like Instagram. Go check out Jalolov. It's like 2 million. It's crazy. Lawrence Okolie is trying to defend himself from some flack that he has received after he rose to #1 in the WBC heavyweight ranking. So the Octopus, he is also on that card of Frank Warren's on April the 5th in Manchester. He's facing Richard Riakporhe. And obviously a lot of heavyweight fans still consider Lawrence Okolie to be, a cruiserweight, or a former cruiserweight, really done nothing at heavyweight so far. He had a pretty soft entry versus Hussein Muhammad. But in terms of the comments, Okolie, the Octopus, aka the Source, says that he wants Agit Kabayel. He's the one I'm looking for. I've watched him for a number of years now. He beat Sanchez, Makhmudov and Zhang, and you've got to hand it to him. He's doing his thing. His interim champ, he's undefeated and he's on fire. And if I wanted to be a world champion, that's the sort of guy I've got to beat to get up there. And that is true. But look, he's got to get through Riakporhe first. So he continues on rank #1. He's interim champion. Alexander Usyk is going to do his thing. Whether that's against Dubois, he's got his own route. Me and Kabayel will need fights after I've beaten Richard, so I'm sure that one's going to happen, and the winner will be one step closer to a world heavyweight title. I've got to say, I like the fight. If Okolie, the Octopus, comes through against Riakporhe and looks good. And of criticism about going up to the top of the WBC rankings, he says, it feels good, obviously. I was WBC world champion at bridgerweight and a world champion at cruiserweight, so that's 2 different weight classes. My plan and aim has always to be a 3-weight world champion. It's simple. I was world champion with the same governing body, and I moved up, so you get a good ranking. My first fight at heavyweight, I boxed for a silver title and won by knockout in the first round, so that put me in the ratings. Then look at the guys above me at the time: Fury, Zhang, Kabayel and Bakhodir. Bakolie's obviously lost to Parker, a great fighter, but he's with the IBF. Parker is with the WBO. Zhang lost to Kabayel, who's interim champion, and Fury retired. None of them have won 2 world titles in 2 weight classes, so I've already done a lot in boxing, and now I'm at heavyweight. You do get those perks when you've been a world champion, and that's just how it goes. The fights like me versus Kabayel will happen, and after I win those fights, the critics won't matter. So we'll have to see what next for Okolie if he beats Richard Riakporhe. But if he looks good, I actually quite like that fight with Kabayel. And let's face it, Kabayel, if he's not going to get a title shot, if he's not quite there, if he's not on the doorstep, he needs to fight continued good opposition. And Okolie, not a bad name at all. Daniel Dubois has been honoured by the British Boxing Board of Control, so he scoops the top award for Fighter of the Year. So, little story here from Frank Warren's webpage, sort of noting this, and also Fabio Wardley had won Fight of the Year, and that was the one with Fraser Clark. So Daniel Dubois, he did have a stellar 2024, and we can't forget that. One of the best sort of, remember with the losses to Usyk, the loss to Joyce, and some of what came out of that, he was looking a bit fragile, but he really has come through in the past couple of years and really sort of stepped up and performed well at the top level. That Joshua knockout obviously being part of it. And I noted in the Hrgovic-Joyce video that Hrgovic now with Queensberry, so I wanted to just mention it here because it was a little bit glossed over, but you know, he's joined a stable, and it feels like most of the boxers we've talked about in this video are part of it. So you do have a situation with Fury, Dubois, Parker, Kabayel, Wardley, Zhang, Itoma, Derek Chisora, Hrgovic, Joyce, Okolie, Dillian White, Sorenko, Dakers, Adeleye, Boma Brown, Lewis Williams, also Delicious Ori, the Olympian who's just turned over, Adeleye, Adegbola, recent signing, so too Lewis Williams, and Joe Bourne. So it's just an absolute riches of heavyweight talent. And as I've said in a recent video on Patreon, they've kind of got it covered. The here and now talent, the up-and-comers who are looking to contend and will be contending for the next few years. And then also you've got this crop of heavyweights who are coming through looking to make a name. Some of these guys here at a slightly lower level still also making their way up. But just of Joe Bourne, So he is going to be on the Doheny card. He's weighed in at 278 pounds, which sounds a little bit heavy. His opponent, Kristen Uwaka, 218 pounds. Probably won't be covering it in a video, but I just thought his first fight with Queensberry, obviously his entry in the pro ranks, is going to be held. And also a recent signing, and joins the likes of Filip, Hrgovic and Adeleye as others who've recently joined on. Stephan Shaw, who lost to F.A. Jugba a year or two back, and he thought he won, but he didn't throw enough punches. He will be returning against Raphael Akpejiori, who you might remember, Akpejiori got absolutely starched by Makhmudov while Makhmudov was still on his hot run before he got decapitated at Riyadh Season and beaten to the body badly by Kabayel. So Shaw, this is on a pro box card that's they will be the co-main event. And I do like this. Big Shot Shaw says that he's coming to Maryland, and obviously he's very happy about this development. So the record of 20-2, you have a situation with Stephan Shaw. He's looking for an opportunity. He is a good fighter. He does need some opportunity, but also when he gets into those fights where he needs to really press for victory and not give his opportunity away through lack of punch, he's got to sort of put the foot down. Doesn't necessarily need to go out on a shield, but he had a shot against the Jugba where he fought well. It was a good fight, but he didn't throw enough punches. If you're too defensively slick and you're not firing much back on the offensive end, sometimes those decisions will go against you. Akpejiori, he's only had a couple of fights since that loss to Makhmudov, which was in 2023. Really nothing of note. So you'd have to imagine that Shaw is going to win here, but he is the much smaller fighter. He's got a few inches, I think, was it 4 inches Akpejiori has on Shaw. So if he can fight smart, box at range and use the jab, well, we'll have to see, but I think Shaw goes in a favourite. Gurgen Hovhannisyan, he will be returning against Dewan Callaway, and this will be on a Boxlake Promotions card on April 18. He fought Patrick Mailata his last fight, and sort of some of the momentum and the steam that was on his career and people high raps on him, he didn't look fantastic against Mailata. Few vulnerabilities, getting clipped with the left hook a lot as well. Mailata's no slouch, but yeah, we'll have to see with Hovhannisyan and how he has moved from here. Gunnar Kolbienn Kristinsson, and I covered this in a video a couple of weeks ago. He was signing a fight, 10 or 12 rounder in Germany. I think it was a 12 rounder, yes, and he's now got his opponent. He'll be fighting Mike Lennis on May 31st in Germany, and this will be for the GBU World title, among others. Okay, GBU title. Yeah. Turkey El Sheikh had posted about this upcoming George Kambosos card where you've got Teremoana Jr. featuring, and I thought, hang on, this is really close. Who's the opponent for Teremoana? And still, as I saw on BoxRec, still TBA, just a week out as I record this. But I think at this stage, 6-0, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. He's obviously using some of these fights to build out some of the experience that he needs. It's another camp. It's another in-ring experience under the bright lights on a decent card. So I'm not too fussed, but they do need to, I think, get him the next few fights a level or two up and start bringing him along a little bit faster, because I think he is ready for that. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.